I need everyone to stand on up. I need you to get up. Give me that energy. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, and the second thing, moving on in. Anybody in the back, moving on in because we are going to have a intimate session. So come on in, come as close as possible. If you all the way to the back, we cannot see you, sis. Come on up here because this next session is an audience forum about hair. And I know y'all have questions about hair just like I do. Matter of fact, anybody deal with dry scalp? Has anyone have dry scalp issues, shedding issues, thinning? Anybody want to know how to protect your edges? Am I the only one? Okay. Anyone you want to know how to make your hair grow, your natural hair? Anyone have questions on the difference between what is a real protective style versus what is not? Because some of these protective styles, I feel like my hair sheds even more. So I don't feel like it's really that protective. And that is why we have two phenomenal hair experts who are going to answer all of your hair questions. Okay, so get the questions ruminating in your mind. We're going to have a microphone passed around, and hopefully, everyone will get a chance to ask them the questions we are all dying to know. So, without further ado, first we are going to welcome to the stage. If you were here earlier, then you already know Emmy award winning hairstylist, beauty expert, and entrepreneur, Angela C. Stevens is back. And joining her, we have celebrity hairstylist and natural hair educator, Felicia Leatherwood. Okay, come on in, y'all. I see you two sit queens. Please sit closer so we can see you. We're gonna be having a back and forth. Any questions you have, we want to be able to see you and hear you. So come on in. I see y'all. I see y'all hiding in the back. It's just like church. You know when the church when the pews are filled out and they say come on down, y'all. I see you, and you know I see you. Okay, so before we pass the mic to you guys in the audience, I'm gonna get the conversation started because I had some questions myself. I've been on my natural hair journey for about 6 years. I transitioned 2019, about 7 years, and then during the pandemic, that's when I was just like, I'm not doing the big chop. I don't know where to go. I'm gonna just let this perm grow out, and I've been natural ever since. So, but my question for you two experts is what is like one of the most common hair concerns that you hear from women?
Growth, length, length growth, hair loss. I think everything in the like, how do I grow this or how do I keep this?
How about your hair? Who wants to know how to grow their hair? Grow their hair. Okay. No, she said my hair's already long. I'm not raising my hair. And you know, she's like, look, this length is good enough for me. Okay, that's fine. What are some of the common mistakes, Felicia, that you see people making, especially those of us who want to grow our natural hair?
Most of the time, people are following folks that don't have their texture, or they're using products that don't help their texture thrive. So, my whole suggestion is to basically find someone whose hair looks like your hair that's thriving.
So if you are 4C, you should follow a TikTok or a hair influencer with 4C hair. Don't follow someone with 1C hair. Okay.
But then, does everybody know what 4C and 1C is? No, no. So now we got to break that down, Angela. Happy to do it. This is such a controversial topic sometimes because a lot of hair professionals don't like the categorization of the hair chart, the typing chart. But what I found value in is it helps kind of create a bridge to talk about texture in a way that everybody can understand. Because before, if you just say density, porosity, curl pattern, this, that, and third, it kind of gets a little complicated. But basically, one is bone straight hair. If your hair is bone straight, out of your hair is bone is one. If your hair hair is slightly wavy, that's 2. If your hair is loosely coily or curly, then that's in the 3s. And then if your hair is a tight coil, which is most people of color, people who have tight hair, that's all in the 4s. And then they're also categorized between A, B, and C. So then that gives you even more depth to what kind of curl pattern you have. So if you're 1A, that means the straightest of the straight, whereas 1C could need a little more coarseness and a slight twirl to the hair. Versus 4A, that's a little bit of a looser coil, versus 4C is the tightest, most coily type of hair. So that's kind of the definition. Are y'all confused a little bit? Did you write it down? So what she's saying is correct. And people started coming for me with the 4C, the 3C, the B, the. So I just start saying curly, wavy, kinky, coily. It's like, that helps. But when we talk, we do talk about 4C and 3C. So, yeah. And I think actually, so this right here is considered, this will probably be in the 2s. Yes. It's wavy. This point will be in the 2s. Her curl pattern would be more in the 3s. And then my beautiful sis with the fro would be in the 4s. Exactly. Well, I hope you bring it down. And then you in the 1 right now. But right now, it's straight and straight. Yeah. I don't know if I have a 3 or 4. My natural curl. I have no idea. 3. You think so? Those cute little baby curls on the side is giving 3. Let's see, 3. Is it somebody told me they were washing my hair? They said you have a 4C hair. I was told that. So I said, okay. I didn't know that. There's a lot of texture discrimination in our community, which is not a pretty thing to talk about, but it is there. And so sometimes if people don't want to work with texture, don't like texture, they kind of will type you to the extreme, even if you're not actually that. But yeah, to Felicia's point, looking at your little tendrils on the side, that's like a 3, 3B, 3C. Okay. And also, when they told you that you had 4C, did they say it with love? Very. It was just, they kind of just said it very directly. The other thing I would want to address is a lot of people have multiple textures on one head of hair. And people tend to think it's just them. But most of the time, the center is going to be the coiliest part of your hair. And then you either get a looser texture in the back, in the nape area, or sometimes you may get a looser texture in the top and the front. And so you do have to address all the curl patterns in your hair a little bit differently. You apply product differently. You add more moisture to the parts that are more coarse. But that's not an individual thing. Most people tend to have more than one curl pattern on their hair. That I definitely can testify to, because my hair, especially on top, it gets frizzy, but in the back it's curly, so it's kind of hard to manage all of it. So before we throw it to you guys to get your questions answered, because I know y'all have, I want to talk about one of the biggest myths that you've heard. Little girl, she always used to tell me, water makes your hair dry. Water dries out your hair. And she would say, don't get your hair wet. And Angela, you should see Angela's face right now. She's looking at me like, what? I was that, and she quote unquote moisturize my hair. She would use grease. Y'all remember the grease that we used to use back in the day before we had all these variety of products? And she said, that's how you moisturize your hair. So what are some myths, other myths that we can sort of bust right now? Well, I know that a lot of women started using beer, and they actually do this in the Dominican Republic. They do put beer on the hair because they feel it makes it shiny. And it's probably the hops in the beer. I haven't broke that down. I don't want to smell like an alcoholic, so I don't fool with beer like that. That was one. Do you remember when they were hanging upside down off the bed to grow their hair? For circulation. For circulation. I mean, that was quite a myth, but who wants to do that when you can just give yourself a scalp massage? And just do yoga. Yeah. And then take care of the whole body, head to toe. So,
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
It's so much misinformation floating around, which is why I'm grateful for this conversation because you watch the wrong influencer or whoever's just saying something, you get caught up in the mix as well. And so I always like to talk about the whole trims, haircuts, the if you don't trim, it'll grow. If you do trim too much, it won't. That one to me is really confusing. And talking about trimming the hair and getting growth to the point you asked about before is you have to trim the hair the same way you have to trim a plant in order to get the prune a plant in order to get the best out of it. So always get your trims. Don't avoid.
I just don't judge me, y'all. I just got my first trim a few weeks ago out of I think 2 years. And the reason why was because if anyone knows me, Brittany knows, I do braid outs a lot. So I can't really see how bad my ends were until I finally had it straightened and they cut 2 inches and I felt it. Because I was just like, no, it took so long for it to get this length. But to your point, Angela, you have to trim your hair. So on that note, who has a question for these celebrity, world renowned hair experts? Okay, this is your chance. Sis in the back with the hat. We're going to pass you a microphone. Give us your name, where you're from, and give us your question.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. Hi, my name is Liz. Everybody call me Queen. I'm from Harlem.
Okay, how old are you in the building?
I'm a construction worker by trade for 40 years and also a polar bear. I was asking you earlier, and your ladies did a magnificent job doing my hair. And that's the first time I've got my hair done in 6 years, just pulling it back. Because I have hair like this sister over here. And I asked her, was that her hair? Because it's so hard to keep a style like that and look like that. When I look like that, people think I have on a Halloween wig. Okay, so I braid my hair up, and I have so much hair, I can't do the whole hair. I can only do the edges because it takes hours. So I have her cracking up. The middle is done. The middle is in a crown, and the edges is that's my secret. My question is, what do you do like to clean it? Like I'm in the water. I'm at work. It's dusty, it's sweaty, but I can't wash my hair. This is a lot of braids, but I want to keep my braids. What can you use? Because me, I just go on some coconut oil and I keep it moving and I wash it like once a week. But like here, I haven't even washed my braids. I've been, in the water every day. What can you use? Okay.
Oh, that's such a great question. You weren't here for my demo. I can went through some of them. I'm gonna tell you right now. Put you on because this is great for if you're in the water a lot. It is the Scalp Refresh cleansing treatment, and it has mint in it, and also honey, and aloe, and so it's gonna condition and cleanse the scalp at the same time, basically. And like, just make sure you stay fresh. Oh, she actually has a sample for you. Also, one of the new innovations from Cream of Nature is our scalp wipes. They are wipes that have aloe and also witch hazel as well as argan oil in them. So it's great to cleanse the scalp and kind of do it when you're like in between things and cleanse it, give it that moisture at the same time and then you could keep it moving. And then you already talked about the edges, but we have the perfect edges for you too. So I want you to go to the back once we finish our panel and just grab everything we have because it'll all be good for you. Oh, perfect.
Can I get like a big bowl for this and that?
She's said, I want it all.
In the world and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can get it. So try it first. The most important thing is to see how your hair works with it and then learning how to cocktail the products together. So you always want to try and see what your hair responds to the most. And then you can layer the products together to get the best result. So what she said. What my job is I tackle the emotional side of us doing our hair. Because really it all starts there. If you don't, we can tell you what to use, how to do it, the steps. But if you don't feel like touching your hair, if you don't want to do your hair, if somebody told you you did not have good hair, you're not going to want to do anything. And you'll come see us every couple of weeks and sit in our chair and we'll make you beautiful. But once you leave, you feel anxiety again because you got to do something. And so what I do is I get to the root of what's happening.
Yeah.
The reason why you don't want to do anything or why you don't have time to do anything. And I make it very simple and give you simple steps that you can follow. And then I asked you, how do you feel about doing that? That's where the honesty comes in.
But you know what? I'm from New York, especially in Harlem. The last time I got my hair done, like I said, I had hair like her. They charge us $250 in the community to get our hair done. I can afford that, but I'm not. But this is my other thing, and I look good when I get my hair done. It looks like a wig. But I have people complaining while they're doing my hair. It's thick. Oh, it's good. I gotta charge you extra, mamita, because it's so thick and it's long. So that's the other move. You know, people ostracize you while you gotta pay all that money because you have hair like this. So it's like I just braided it. I used to Billy Jeans. I don't know if anybody heard of Billy Jeans back in the day. It's a famous place on 116th Street. I've been going there for years. And they could put any style. They're not there anymore. But I just gave up on having nice hairstyles because what's the point? I'm going to go there and somebody's going to be complaining. And I got to give them all this money plus a
Right.
tip.
So speaking of the emotional side of hair, Felicia, to this sister's point, sometimes we aren't told nice things. I remember growing up when I was getting my hair done, I was told my hair is nappy. What do you say? How can we overcome that, especially if we're still going through it?
You're going to go out
Come
and
on.
find
Come on.
therapy.
Yeah.
So, Group Therapy is a book that I wrote. And I don't know if you guys know Issa Rae, the actress. She did the intro. And this book is about that. It is about how you feel when you're getting your hair done from a child, from someone first putting their hands in your hair, and you discovering what beauty is, whether it's negative or positive. Your first introduction to your hair is through your family. And so this book helps you return and take a different journey where you can change the story that you were told if it doesn't feel good to you today. Mhm. That way, when you do go to a hairstylist and in a salon, you can correct them when they're talking to you crazy. And you have that right to do because you are a queen. And so this book is going to help you get to that journey so that when you show up, you go, no, you're not going to charge me extra. My hair is my hair. And the fact that you're talking to me like this means I don't need to sit in this chair. That's right. And that's when you take control and you own it. And so that's the part that I want. And I'm gonna work, we're gonna work on the hairstyle.
Hold on, sis. We're going to take another question. And Angela, did you want to respond before we get to the next question?
My biggest thing, I think, because I see a lot of discourse around the customer service, is protect your energy on your head. You do not have to settle for treatment when people are speaking to you crazy. Even at the booking process, sometimes you can feel the negative energy before you even get there. Protect your crown, protect your energy, and say no if it does not feel right to you. Because there are a lot of us around, passionate hair care experts who love on our clients, who love products, who love educating. And those are the people that you need to be trusted with your hair. If they don't match up to that and you don't feel that love, that energy coming from them, they're not the ones that should be touching you in the first place.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. We'll take another question from somebody. We have a question right there. Oh,
So my question is about the moisturizing, right? Like you were saying, you hear all these things. So one of the problems I had was like, I guess I was moisturizing my hair enough, but I was using oil and I thought that was fine, like just oiling my scalp or something. But then my hair was feeling really dry and brittle. So my friend was like, you have to find like water-based products that have oil in them. Like I never even knew about that. So then I was trying to find like water, the spray that you use with the oil. And I'm like, I felt like my hair was getting a little more moisturized, but not really. And I'm like, is that enough? Or like, should I be using something else? Or is it like a combination thing I should be doing? I don't know.
Do you use leave-in conditioners or how often do you condition your hair?
Once a week.
Okay, and do you do steam treatments? Do you do a leave-in after? Do you follow?
Sometimes I do a leave-in, like maybe if I don't do the regular quick conditioner for how many minutes. But I don't do like a leave-in every day, or
Do you notice the difference when you use the leave-in?
I don't really notice the difference. I mean, I just notice when I use conditioner after I wash my hair, obviously it's softer, but I don't think it's necessarily more moisturized. So I thought maybe there's something I could do every day that's quick. And that's why I was trying the sprays with the oil, but that's not really, I feel like that's not enough moisture either. So I was just trying to figure out like what else, what other things would be better.
There's so many things. I'm gonna let Angela say her piece about it, and then I'm gonna tag on. No, you can go, and then so you may need a protein treatment, or you may have too much protein. The reason why the hair feels dry. You may need different products. You may need to start steaming to open up the cuticle so that the product can penetrate better. So sometimes you need to activate heat with your product. And then also rinsing your hair in cooler water is gonna seal everything up. It's like you heat it up to open up the doors, unlock it. Then you put the product in, and then the cold water closes it and locks it up. Okay, so that's one technique. Also, towel drying your hair before you add your conditioner. A lot of times, people will put the product on super wet hair because it makes it easier to get through, but you're basically just watering down your product. You know, so diluting the product is taken away from the penetration as well. The other thing I would say is you may need a trim. When the last time you had one?
I get trims. I get trims all
Okay, all right. And then something else that you addressed was oil on the scalp. Putting oil on the scalp does not hydrate the ends. And because we have coilier hair, it's almost like a swirling staircase. If you drop something down that staircase, it's not going to trickle down to the bottom. With straight hair, it's like a slide. So if you put something at the top of that slide, it's going to go right down. But with coily hair, you have to focus more on the ends of the hair versus on the root. So even with like protective styles, a lot of times I see these videos and they'll braid the hair up dry and then they'll drop some oil drops in the scalp. None of that oil is getting to the hair that was braided up. So you really should be oiling the hair before the braids happen. But again, going back to this information, is people for some reason don't want to layer product on before a protective style, and that's when you really should because it's going into hibernation for a long time. So it's things like that that will help with moisture. Oil though is a sealant; it's not a moisturizer. So you probably also just need to layer like Felicia was touching on, is your conditioner, opening up the cuticle with the heat, then a leave-in, and then whatever styling product should be a humectant product that kind of brings more moisture into your hair. And then the last thing is the oil, which is going to seal everything together.
That was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll go to the next question. And also, fellas, this is for y'all too. Some of y'all have hair, y'all have beards. Any questions? You have sisters, mothers, and wives that may be going through something, so feel free to ask your questions as well. Okay, next question.
Hi, Linda. Oftentimes with 4D and 4C here, you're laying on gel, pomades, you know, sorry, gel, pomades, oils, and those things. How do you know that we're deeply conditioning or moisturizing our hair instead of just putting on like buildup and how often we wash it, depending on. So you're saying how do we know the product's actually working? So my trick, because most of us are product junkies, we have like 2 or 3 or 4 different shampoos, conditioners. I love to split the hair in fours and take those products you have, put it like a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, and try one on one part, another on another part, another on another, and then you feel it. The hair is gonna let you know. And that way you're not guessing so much. And write down what you feel. Write it down, and in that way you'll say, okay, I need to repeat this. The other thing too is we don't really use products long enough to make them work. We'll be like, I need a genie in the bottle situation. This product didn't work now, so I don't know about later. You gotta stick with it. But definitely I would test out what you have and see what your hair responds to. Feel it for the slip, the moisture you're looking for. That was it.
Okay, we have another question.
Hello, my name is Betty. Oh, as you can see, I have white hair. So
Beautiful.
thank you. I have to be very careful about what products I put in my hair. And I'd like to know what can I use to help them keep it from getting frizzy. I live in Florida, son.
The humidity is always gonna fight you because you're in Florida. I'll just say that. But again, going back to the layering, when you layer the products, that really helps to lock it in for. One of the products that I demonstrated earlier was from the Pure Honey collection, and this is the Shrinkage Defense Pro Activator. You can use this if you do twist outs or braid outs, you roll your hair. What do you do with it typically?
Shampoo and then towel dry it almost, and then two braids.
Okay, so you can use this as that final product before you set and braid your hair while it's wet, and then let it fully dry first. And then you can go in and use an oil. This one is a spray from the Honey Collection. So it's a silicone-free, lightweight mist, and it has coconut oil in it. Right? The other one, there's another shine spray that has argan. So that one is a little heavier, and you may want to try the argan oil, or like Alicia said, like you can compare and see which one works the best. But it's truly about layering the product, and then sealing it with an oil as well.
As you know, white hair absorbs a lot of colors. I just want to make sure those products are not going to make it yellow.
Yeah, no, this one is more, it's creamy, it's more white. It does have slightly a yellow tint to it, but not much. Not enough that it would stain your hair color. But we definitely want to keep you looking vibrant. It's so pretty.
Okay, thank you.
And I would suggest, instead of, is it a microfiber towel or just a regular towel? So the regular towel is definitely going to fluff you out. It's going to make it frizzier. A microfiber towel or a t-shirt would be your better bet.
I use a towel when it's really wet, and then I use a paper towel to really absorb the water.
I will do microfiber towel or a t-shirt until you get the microfiber. It's gonna, you're gonna notice right away the difference. It's gonna soften the hair, it cuts down on the frizz. It's much better.
Okay, we have a question. We have some questions. Okay, right here. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay, so my name's Ashley. I'm from Atlanta. I have a question. So you mentioned earlier about when you have protective styles, the best time to put the oils and all the sealants in is before you get like the braids, right? The issue I see happening is that a lot of stylists or a lot of braiders, rather, when you go to them to get braids, they actually become product free. So you can wash your hair, condition it, but then you can't put a leave-in in it or any oil, and then when you get there, they're just using gel. So then when you get out, your hair has lots of gel, it turns white, and you're trying to, so it's kind of like a counter. So how do you counter that? And then the second question is, I am starting to get braids, and so I've been trying to camouflage. It's new for me, but I noticed that braids don't curl the same. They stick out. So like even in these braids, like they stick out. So what remedies do you have for that when you're starting to get the braids? Because I can't pull them out. So how do you navigate
Don't
that?
pull them. Don't leave them. Can I take this? So the first part of your question, this is a big topic. Is I'm sharing this online and I didn't realize how big it was going to get, but there are different categories of people who do hair. You got your kitchen beautician, they just kind of have a natural knack, but they didn't get any education. You have braiders who also may or may not have gotten an education, but they focus on braided styles. You have licensed cosmetologists who learn the science of hair, the way the hair grows, how it grows, can do color, can perform cleansing services, can work with chemicals. And then you have even more elevated people like your trichologists that focus on hair growth and things like that. So if you're going to a kitchen beautician or a braider who is unlicensed and they are performing a service for you, they have no knowledge of hair care for real. And they are just wanting you to be clean so that they can grip your hair better. There's no actual other foundation of why they want it clean other than to grip your hair so they can braid properly. A licensed professional who focuses on hair care understands that your ends need to be hydrated and sealed so that they don't break off when they're intertwined with synthetic hair or even human hair. So the understanding of health is completely different. It's a very wide gap. We're not all a monolith when it comes to who performs services. So that's the first thing. How do you navigate that? I would advocate for seeing licensed professionals as much as possible. I don't want to take no bread out of nobody's pocket. But when it comes to the longevity of your hair care, you're not going to see growth and health as much if you're going to someone who's not educated on how to take care of your hair. They're simply trying to just execute the style in the best way they know how, you know? And so when it comes to that, you come clean, but you can ask them, instead of using so much of this product, can you put this product on my ends while you're braiding so that my hair doesn't break off? You can make it like this. You think I have very sensitive hair. I don't want my hair to break. So this is what works for me. Also, instead of gels, products that are more of like a butter kind of consistency, like a mango butter or like a shea butter in a jar, that kind of consistency, that will give them the grip that they need without all the damage from a lot of these random gels that they're like layering on the scalp. That's just want to take the rest.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. Really, the reason why they'll tell you not to put anything on is because everybody's hand is different. Some people have really heavy hands and they come and they got all this stuff in their hair. We're like, oh man, we need to wash this out, which is going to take a whole nother time to do. And blah, blah, blah. So, what I say is bring your own products and say, I really need, and if even if you make a few thing, once again, you might say, I'm allergic to that. So I really need this, please, sis. If you could start with this, and then if you got to use a gel, this is the one I recommend. It works for me. That kills it all. The other thing, and I also want to say this to Queen, is we got to start doing consultations first. That saves all of it. When you say, can I come in and sit with you for 10, 15 minutes and ask questions? Because my hair is really sensitive. Can I do a consultation? And sometimes they'll charge you, and you can say, does this go towards my styling? And you go in there and you have your own list in your head of what you do not want to see. I don't want to see them eating food while doing somebody's hair. Oh, yeah. I don't want to see hair and product everywhere at their booth. It should be clean. You know, how are they kept? So you can look for those things of kids running around and they're kids, you know. And so these are the no's. Look at what they're using at their station. And if those products you know they're banned, they don't align with you, it's a no for you. Can I say something to that point, Felicia? Because I get my hair braided too. I'm in Harlem as well. We really do have to raise our standards. Yep. Because, and I love everybody, no discrimination, but I was getting my hair braided and a roach came out and she took her hand, flicked her the roach, and went back to braiding. I said, never again. I almost, Lord knows why I didn't walk out right here. She laughed because she know. Sis laughing because she like, I've been there too. The one on 116. It's all of them. No, and I wasn't mad. But now I go to one, I don't know if you know Jolie's Beauty. Now they it's very pricey, but the experience is worth it. They come in, they don't They will put a leave-in in your hair, whereas other people are like, just no product is all. They start. I feel like they fight in my hair sometimes. They just, they do it fast, but it's like I just feel like, oh my god, what am I doing to myself? So now I go someplace where it is a little bit more pricey, but it's still black owned, and they take care of your hair. They have conversations with you. They wash your hair. They have a massage chair. They feed you. They went viral because they feed you. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So
Emotions.
yeah, they do. Well, not that, not yet.
You got me wanting to go.
Right. Raise your stick because our hair is important. My hair is important, and I want to be treated like that. So thank you for that.
The last part of your question was about gray, and what I love about Primitive Nature is they have their perfect edges, edge control, but they have a tinted perfect edges, edge control in black and brown. So it immediately addresses the little pops, because I'm getting all my grays coming in the front too, guys. Tell nobody. But you can use that to address the grays in a real quick, easy way. It doesn't look like shoe polish. It blends right in. Because some people, when they do that temporary color, it look crazy. Yeah. This one, it blends in well. You just brush it in with your edge brush. It makes the hair look fuller, and it covers the grays immediately. So a great product. Cream of Nature has you covered when it comes to the gray coverage.
Thank you. Next question. Good afternoon, ladies. You don't hear from Mass. I just want to know how can we improve the wonderful products that we're getting today on a wash day, a particular order, or anything like that.
The particular order?
Yes, with our wash day, the products that you have. How do you use the products? How do we? What's the order of the product? Yes, what's the order of it? Okay, before she answers this question, take the notes.
You meant it.
No.
No, I gotta take notes.
Get your phone
You'll
out.
be asking this question in 6 more months again. Pull out get some notes before she runs it down for you. I don't know exactly what you're getting. I think it's mostly the Pure Honey collection in addition to the Perfect Edges. They have cleansers and conditioners in the collection. So you always want to start with your shampoo. And if you can use two different types, they don't have it here, but they have a apple cider vinegar shampoo or cleanser. Or you can start with the pre-treatment, which is a scalp refresh I talked about, and then you would go in with the hydrating shampoo. They have a moisturizing shampoo in the range.
And she's got braids, so she can use the Pennsy's scalp
This
treatment.
right on your scalp, the braids. Yeah, it's perfect for braids.
But I love this. I'm a leave-in girl. I love a good leave-in. And so not a way, but this is the leave-in. If you want leave-ins, even the sister, I think she left. Her hair is dry. She was using oil. Uh, but the leave-in is the one.
And I can use some with my braids.
You want to put it on before the braids. Because this is what we were talking about when you go to the salon and they're like, we don't want you to put anything in your hair. The leave-in.
If you want something for your braids daily, it would be the mint product I mentioned first, and then it would be the silicone lightweight shine mist, and then you would also use the perfect edges to define and contour that hairline. So those would be the ones that you use while you have the braids. Everything else we mentioned would apply to when you take the braids down, when you're gonna cleanse and reset your hair, and then blow dry it. So hopefully they have most of these things back there all on.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We have time for one more question. Yes.
Hi, hello. My name is Adrian Hughes, and I am a licensed stylist. So I'm listening to you all, and Prima Nature has been around for years. Because of that, as a stylist, do you all make the product so that it can be in large quantities for us to have back bar and things like that? When you're giving small 8 ounces, we'll be spending so much money. I need something that's 32 ounce. You'll already have things that I use now, but listening to your conversation and how you're, gearing it toward natural hair now, do you all do, large quantities for back bar for styles?
I'm glad you asked that because we need the executive team. Executive team.
You just put in your request.
Yeah, you put in your request, and that's something that a lot of the stylist community wants and needs is the bigger products. Cream of Nature has traditionally been a consumer facing brand, so it's more so accessible and affordable, which means they make smaller quantities for that reason. But I love that you asked that because there is a desire for professionals to have more of the product. So I'm glad that they heard. You heard it too. You heard it.
Yes, because whatever I use, I like for my clients to use it at home. So if I'm trying to get them to use what I'm using, I need to be able to have it for myself and for them.
Absolutely. We need to build a better bridge. And that's probably one of the issues I would say with the consumer products and the professionals is we can buy professional products, but they're not available to consumers. And the consumer products aren't big enough for the professionals. So I love that you acknowledge that bridge. We need to work harder on making that easier for both of us.
Say one more thing.
I think we're out of time.
We have a young lady with a question. I really wanted to get to her too, because
Do you have anything for like wash day and like tangling and stuff?
everything back there we have for wash day, we'll make sure you understand how to use the products.
Okay. Amazing. So before we let you go, one final takeaway that you want everyone in this audience to walk away with. What's your final takeaway?
That's a good one. I mean, I think everything we talked about is so important and so key, but I really want to highlight Felicia and her book and also the energy around loving your hair. What she said earlier was so powerful. And she is just such an expert at what she does, but it does start with nurturing yourself, loving on yourself, telling yourself you're beautiful, you're powerful, you're unstoppable, your hair is beautiful in every shape and form that it's in. And anybody who says otherwise does not need to be touching your hair. Okay?
So I just want everyone who does not know how to do this to do this. Learn how to take a compliment. Learn how to accept a compliment. You don't have to throw it back. You don't have to find the flaws in what they said. If they say your nails are nice, you go, oh, well, this one's broke, it's chipped. Nobody cares. They ain't talking about that. I like your shoes. Oh, they're old. Nobody cares. I like your hair. It's dry. It's this. Take the compliment. Please, y'all, learn how to take a compliment. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And then before we wrap up the panel, I just want to say, you know, when your hair is done, when my hair is done, I feel good about myself. And I'm so grateful for you two ladies sharing yourself, sharing all this information, sharing your time with us about how we can be our best. Because when we look good, we feel good, right, ladies? So this is so important. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Angela. And thank you, Cream of Nature. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.